So I have a long history with Cape Cod. I grew up here as a summer person in the late 1950s, early 1960s. And during that time, my interests were, the same as any teenager. I was paying attention less to nature and more to social environments that were going on here. But my grandparents were active naturalists and observers of nature, and I picked up some of my interests from them, certainly down in the area around Chatham and Monomoy. And it wasn't until I returned to Cape Cod, now about 15 years ago, after being away, except for discrete small visits, for more than 35 years, that I realized just how much the Cape had changed. We'll say from 1970 to, 2005. So think of it as 45 years. Complete transformation, so many different changes. Here on Cape Cod was the North Atlantic gray seal, which by 1960 had been almost eliminated from New England waters due to hunting by commercial fishermen who believed that the sea lions were actually, the seals were actually competing with them to harvest fish. So there was literally bounties that were put on these seals. And in 1974, there was a study done of the population really in the Cape Cod area, and it was determined that there were seven North Atlantic gray seals left. And they were on a small island, Muskegon Island, off of Nantucket, just 7. So that's an example. When we were kids, we would never see seals. They were very, very rare. If we saw seals at all, they were usually they were harbor seals that came in the fall and came down from Arctic, and we're spending part of the winter here, and we're not seeing it all in the summer months. And that was very rare. Maybe in my teenage years, I maybe saw them 3 or 4 times. And of course, with the return of the gray seals, we've also been graced with the return of the apex predator in the ocean that traditionally must have hunted those gray seals, and that's the great white shark. And prior to 2009, when I really started getting active locally supporting conservation efforts, great white sharks were almost unheard of, seen anywhere on the East Coast and certainly in the Cape Cod waters. And certainly over the last decade, there's been a dramatic increase in the sightings and evidence that those creatures are in the area, certainly seasonally working, mainly hunting for gray seals, but some passing through on their way north to Canada to explore other hunting areas. Rewilding is a term that's been coined almost 50 years ago now by a guy called Dave Foreman, who is an activist in conservation space. And it really refers to a process of leaving nature alone to recover in an area that's been, frankly, abused by human beings over a long period of time. That a generation of conservation stewards, particularly young people who've grown up really in the last decade and become aware of the importance of biodiversity, will become interested in what's going on here, both seasonally and more broadly over a period of time, to see species recover and become future important advocates for preserving and protecting the wild environment here.